Programming is as much a job as it is an attitude. To develop your skills, there are certain qualities you must imbibe. So for newbies and non-programmers, what are the attitudes that set programmers apart? How do they go from individuals with pretty much a regular perception of life to top-performing experts in their career? Sit tight, as in this video, we're going to talk about the recipe that enables programmers to achieve success in life. Problem solving. If you have heard this a number of times over and over again, you're hearing it now because it's true. Programmers encounter a lot of technical problems that require equally creative approaches to solving them. In the course of their work, they have to constantly deconstruct information about a challenge and solve it piecemeal. Here's a simple logic that could run through a programmer's mind. If action X leads to Y, result and Z is a derivative of the outcome, then Z is a product of X. In that scenario, what it might therefore take is to develop a solution that checks for possible problems in the initial action. The repetition of this pattern in their career transforms them into seasoned analytical creatures. Upskilling. The one thing that makes programming different from many other jobs is that it gives you an opportunity to grow in other areas. Technology is critical to numerous industries today, and because companies cannot achieve particular functions without hiring programmers, developers are able to learn a great deal. The more you interact with solutions deployed in specific fields, the better you are able to modify and apply them to the needs of another one. In other words, the diverse experiences of programmers and the fact that they are not isolated to a single industry increases their value exponentially. Attachment to the job. As a career, programming gives a sense of fulfillment. It's not merely about the joy of fixing a problem, it's also the pleasure you feel when you realize you have successfully created an item. Checking and rechecking it again for glitches, experiencing its reaction to your commands, that is certainly something you want to feel repeatedly. You can therefore understand why programmers spare no effort to tackle any problem they have been able to solve. The sense of purpose is always there. Financial incentives. Aside from all the psychological benefits of being a programmer, there is the financial aspect too. Programmers are in high demand across multiple industries. As the world becomes more reliant on tech, the need for skilled programmers continues to rise. So if you do this as a job, you can rest assured that you are comparatively better off than most of the labor market. Someone will always require your skill set. In the United States, the average annual salary of programmers is between $70,000 to $100,000, compared to over $50,000 for the entire country. Flexibility. Unlike regular employees, programmers are allowed to be more flexible with the location they choose to work. You do not have to be in a brick-and-mortar office to deliver projects, as virtually all your tasks can be executed online. This has an impact on job satisfaction because you do not have to worry every day about arriving early at the office, beating traffic, or coping with an overbearing employer. You could even decide to code on the toilet seat if you want. Okay, that's a little graphic, but you understand. Collaboration. There is also the benefit of communities. Online support forums are at the core of the developer's growth and exposure to opportunities. The programming world simply does not give room for isolation. What seems like the best method to you may turn out to be the least efficient way to execute. Therefore, for programmers, working with other people is a necessity rather than a choice. Creativity. Another remarkable benefit of working as a programmer is that you're able to express your creativity. There are no rules or limits preventing you from transforming any ideas into a life-changing project. Do you want to start your own business? Launch an app or build a website? You already have what it takes to thrive as your own employer. Education. One could also say that programmers live in a disruptive world of their own. For decades, the main requirement for achieving success was a college degree. With programming, this is barely the case. You could be high school educated and still be unlimited in your choice of workplaces. You have billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates who discovered early that it makes more sense to spend university time investing in something that would be critical to their growths. And when you look at the cost of education, you realize it's more practical to explore an alternative skill that you could basically acquire for free than be pursued by debts for most of your life. In this sense, programming is non-discriminatory. Competence. In the world of programming, there is minimal office politics to contend with. What determines your advancement as a professional is how well you do the job you have been given. The better you are, the higher your chances for development, and the more appealing you become to far more lucrative employers. Security. This is probably the most prominent of the perks of programming. Remember 2020 when the coronavirus caused people to lose their jobs? Well, programming is much more secure than that. During the pandemic, a large percentage of software developers simply switched to remote work with scarce effects on their employment status. The continuous evolution of tech-based startups and the use of artificial intelligence in industries also means that programmers can be confident of long-term need. So what other factors do you think contribute to the success of programmers today? Are there some lesser known variables that encourage growth? If so, let us know in the comments.